Good afternoon, we are the Case Crusaders and we are presenting MYOB Buddy, a tool that will help improve the customer support experience for small and medium enterprises that are users of MYOB. Have you ever called a business seeking assistance to solving a problem, only to be left on hold for hours? Whilst this is a universal experience, it is also a key issue that MYOB has left unresolved. We identified a way to solve this problem, leading to our case question. How can we use generative AI to improve customer support satisfaction for small and medium enterprises and achieve a 10% increase in customer retention rate by July 2024? Our key focus is customer retention and customer satisfaction. As this all revolves around the customers, this is the workflow that we decided to choose. Previously, MYOB has followed a more traditional approach, but are now moving more into digitized branding. Technology is evolving and developing, and is being used by companies such as Xero, which are competitors to MYOB. In 2020, Xero had a market share of 47%, whereas MYOB had a market share of 41%. Also found that in 2018, customer retention was around 83%. However, this number could be lower now. We conducted research on multiple websites with reviews for MYOB from small and medium enterprises. We found that most of the reviews that were negative were based on poor customer support, so we identified this as our key issue. After analyzing the reviews, we found that most of the customers had an issue with software and were then asking for help. However, they found that they had to wait on call for hours, and also when they received help, it was often confusing and didn't actually solve their problem. It was also found that some employees weren't trained well enough to answer the questions sufficiently and were also not efficient in answering them, therefore contributing to the long wait times. The issue contributes to customer retention and revenue because companies such as Xero are very well known for having amazing customer support systems. As customers become frustrated with the lack of customer support at MYOB, they may switch to competitors such as Xero.
We have identified 4 potential causes of issue. Firstly, the expansion of MYOB as a result in gaining market share has led to a larger customer base, meaning that there's more demand for customer service. As MYOB has focused on technological advancements to increase market share, this leads to their customer service not being able to withstand the increase in customers. Secondly, due to technological advancements, MYOB software may be hard to navigate, leading to many questions asked by the customers. MYO Academy is offered, however, customers may not know which videos they should watch or may not know where to find the actual academy. Thirdly, the customer service employees are untrained. This leads to misunderstanding questions and asking customers to repeat the question multiple times, which leads to frustration. The customer service is also unorganized, as there is no way of filtering or grouping similar questions, leading to a large volume of questions being asked. This also means that it is quite difficult to assist with the actual harder question. Our strategy is to improve self-service to reduce customer service demand. This means that customers will have the ability to find answers themselves, leading to less people requiring human customer service. Idle time will be reduced as well, and it also means that there will be a decrease in customer frustration, and MYOB will have a larger capacity to answer difficult questions, as simple questions are self-answered, leaving harder questions for the employee. Our implementation mainly focuses on customer use by assisting in self-service by referring to useful resources. We will be using training data from previous customer questions and situations to train MYOB Buddy. Additionally, the chatbot could assist employees if the question requires human answers. In more detail, MYOB Buddy begins as a menu-based chatbot. It categorizes questions based on the subject matter, and it also provides an overview of the problem, which could reduce idle time as well, as the customers are constantly inputting details about their situation. Secondly, the MYOB Buddy will provide links to related resources based on the overview of the customer problems from step 1. This could include specific MYOB Academy videos, blog posts, forum answers, which could help make it easier for self-service. If the provided resource is correct but hard to understand, MYOB Buddy could provide clarification for those resources by rewording the resource and providing any further clarifications or answering questions related to that resource. Lastly, if the problem is complex and cannot be answered by the MYOB Buddy AI, MYOB Buddy could direct customers to human employees. However, they will produce a detailed summary of the situation, which could reduce misunderstandings or the repeat of questions by customers. This is because it will be easier for the employee to understand as the format for the questions are all the same. Also, as steps 1 to 3 filters questions, it means that there will be a greater efficiency as these human employees will have less questions overall to answer, as many of the questions have been self-answered already.
We also have an outline of the customer journey. Firstly, the customer will receive help from MYOB Buddy in regards to the question or problem as previously explained. If the problem is too specific for the chatbot, trained employees will use the detailed summary provided by the chatbot to assist them further. Finally, if the chatbot still cannot assist, then trained employees will directly help solve the issue. Here is our projected timeline. We'll begin designing and planning of the chatbot in September, and we're leaving a gap between July and September to allow time for higher management to approve of our solution. In December, we'll begin training and analyzing data from, for example, social media posts and online reviews. In March, we'll begin teaching employees how to utilize the chatbot, and in June, we'll begin test running, and finally, we'll launch the product in July of 2024. There are also several risks that need to be considered. There may be privacy and security issues when using public data to train the chatbot. This can be mitigated by encrypting user data or communicating through MYOB Buddy's privacy policies and how data collected is used. The chatbot may also be ineffective in dealing with certain problems. This can be mitigated through regular updates of the chatbot data and continuously learning and improving through its user interactions. Finally, there may be a risk of technical errors and malfunctions in the chatbot, which can easily cause customer frustration. Ensuring there are enough developers at hand to be able to handle these bugs and glitches will largely resolve this issue. Obtaining a Hugging Face model for our chatbot will not cost anything, while hiring additional developers for improvements and maintenance would cost around $180,000. Hiring a data analyst for database management, among other things, would cost around $82,000, totaling to a yearly cost estimate of $262,000. Of course, these costs would later be cancelled out in future years when MYOB's revenue increases due to higher customer retention.
Now we will focus on the financial impact and the key metrics of Mind Your Own Buddy. Firstly, we have decided to focus on customer satisfaction by using the star rating on Trustpilot. Aside the reviews content, this metric also considers time span and the frequency of collecting reviews. This will give us a more accurate understanding of consumers' wants and complaints in a numeric and efficient way. We aim to increase MYOB's current rating from 3 stars to 5 stars by addressing customer issues, the majority of which pertaining to customer service. Secondly, we also decided to focus on customer retention rate. In 2018, the customer retention rate is 83%, but after the implementation of the Mind Your Own Buddy system, the retention rate is expected to increase by 10% in 2024. This huge amount of projected growth is feasible as customer service is a huge problem on the MYOB platform. Targeting this workstream will increase the amount of loyal customers and promote word of mouth. Lastly, we will also target efficiency. This target is to decrease waiting time for customer service call lines from 1.5 hours, perhaps even more, to 0.5 hours per customer. This is expanded more on the value bridge, which exhibits the relationship between customers' idle waiting time and the development of MYOB Buddy. The status quo is indicative of MYOB's current long waiting times, which last approximately more than 1.5 hours. We aim to see a reduction of 0.5 hours for self-service, as the customers will be maximizing their time by using the MYOB Buddy for help. If their problem is still unsolved, they will be referred to a trained employee who will use the chatbot to further reduce the waiting time by 0.5 hours by their efficiency. The forecasted result of this overall strategy is that the average wait time would be reduced to 0.5 hours approximately, assuming that MYOB's website resources and the chatbot's feedback are sufficient enough to assist customers and employees alike. So, to conclude this presentation, the implementation of MYOB Buddy and Mind Your Own Buddy addresses the case question as it optimizes MYOB's position in meeting these key metrics, making a greater positive financial impact to the company. 3 things to do tomorrow. Firstly, in order to prompt future growth, MYOB should focus on the effects of the strategy by looking at customer feedback and reviews. Secondly, they can train customer service employees and create specialization within the teams. And lastly, MYOB can train the MYOB Buddy to assist employees in answering questions. Of course, this cannot all be done by tomorrow, but if MYOB takes these steps, they will lead more towards a more positive growth. This is our presentation, and thank you for listening.